Hello there. This is going to be what if Naruto, well, what if Naruto was a female and a Saiyan, and as well was in Dragon Ball. Um, and right here you can see her. Just remove this and keep that on. Keep that right thing. And picture whatever her clothes is. I don't know. And then Sasuke's gonna be there as well because I want her to have a brother. Okay, and I'm gonna call her. She I'm gonna call her Gimma. And then when goes to Earth and all that, her name will be different. So Gimma, she is around 5 years old when Kakarot is born. Her brother is around the same age. They were basically born maybe a day off from each other. And Sasuke was the first one born. Now, if I remember this correctly, Kakarot was one when planet Vegeta was decimated by what's his name, Frieza. Yeah, it's not gonna be related to Kakarot or Vegeta. Um, they're gonna be in a random family, which are pretty high-powered Saiyans, but for some reason, these two kids are like the weakest. Like, one, you can't sense anything from Genma, Gemma, or is it Gemma? I'm just gonna call it Gemma because that's like, yeah. And I'm gonna say his name is uh I'm gonna call him Sasuke just because yeah. So Gemma and Sasuke. For some reason, you can't feel anything from them. Like it's so like they can't even like they can sense just a little bit because they haven't practiced anything of that. They only used the weird what are they called, the power level counters, whatever they're called, the scouters, right? Yeah, scouters. I don't know. But yeah, they could not feel anything from them, not even a little bit. And for the reason that is going to be explained later. So there's already a hint, straight up. But yeah. Well, uh, so when they're around, like, you know what? Instead of saying that they're 5, I'm gonna go up by their age. So I'm gonna say when they're 2, they're ridiculed and like they're like hated upon for some reason. They don't know why, but their family is basically hating on them as well because they say that they're the weakest of the weak, and they're confused by that because they want like their family. Shouldn't they care for each other? And they didn't know what to do. But one night they decided to go on their own. They decided to leave because they didn't want to be a part of a family that hurts them. And this was Sasuke's idea because he's the big brother. He wants to protect his little sister. And they go out for a while. They pack stuff secretly and go for a while. Now, they've been out there for around let's say 3 years. They were 2. So that means it's 5. But that only happened until a little later. Okay? The Frieza attack. Like in a couple of days. But luckily, they found a, I guess you could say, pod. And they didn't know what to do with it. Because they were barely learned. Like, nobody wanted to tell them anything or anything. Like, they just kept them in the dark, so they didn't know what it was. So they got inside of it, and then Genma accidentally pressed a button, and it locked them inside. They didn't know what to do, and then Naruto, or not Naruto, Genma gets surprised, and it falls back, and then hits a button again, and it said coordinates for a planet. They didn't know what this planet was, but they kind of wanted to go, but not at the same time, because this is their home planet. Like, they don't want to leave. They still have that fighting instinct as well. Like, they want to fight, but Gemma is a little different. She doesn't like to fight. She doesn't have to. She won't. Yeah. And the pod launches, and it startled them a little bit, and then they flew. Took them a couple of days. That was like maybe a day before Kakarot went into the pod and got sent away. Yeah, and they landed there and landed right onto Master Roshi's island. See, I'm not gonna make Kakarot and Dumb see each other until a little bit after. Now, they, they are like, they got hit in the head a little bit, but they haven't lost anything. They haven't lost their hatred for the hatred for the saiyan race. And hold on real quick. I just need to do something real quick. Yeah. Well, I'm back. My mom, man. Oh, well. Okay. So, I think we left off when they landed. Master Roshi wasn't there. Right, that instant. He was off somewhere else. Trying to look for certain things. And they got out because the hatch flew open. Like, it blasted off, and it hit the house, and it went inside the house because it would hit the window, and it flew in. And they got out. They really hurt, and they didn't know what was going on at all. Now, the first one to decide to get out of the pod was Sasuke. And the only thing that they got a little bit confused is their names. But Sasuke still remembers his name a little bit. It's a little hard to remember, but he remembers it. But Gemma, on the other hand, kind of forgot her name in an instant. And then, so did, well, after Sasuke got out of the pod, so did, Magma, Magma. I can't remember the name. Menma? Magma. I'm gonna say Magma. Okay, Magma. And then, uh, she fell because she was a little dizzy from the fall. And Sasuke helped her up. And he's wondering, oh, where are we? All they see is an ocean. Because they know the little stuff, like trees, oceans, like water, ocean, um, anything really basic. They were barely even trained as well. Um, and and they start to explore the island. It's not much, but they explore it. And Gemma is just a little bit against the whole idea of going into a random place, but uh, Sasuke was like Sasuke didn't like he wanted to protect his sister, so he wanted to see what was on this island supposedly, and he he sees this house. It doesn't look like anything of their house, but he knows that this is something like living in, and he sees that it's there's someone has been living here, but he doesn't know who. And it's Magma, or Magma follows Sasuke because she doesn't want to be alone. And soon after they explored the little island, they went into the house. They saw these weird magazines, and then Sasuke looked at it first, and then blood came out of his nose. Magma was a little confused. She was like, I'd never seen brother do that. Like, is he okay? And he goes to look at the magazine, and she sees a whole lot of what you call it, nudity. And she gets a little flustered, but she gets a little mad at his brother because it's like, you're not supposed to look at that. You know, I'm the same. I'm a female too, and that's kind of hurtful. And then Sasuke tries to apologize, but he gets hit in the head. Um, and then uh, see that they see other magazines about like fighting and other things, and they look at it. They read them for a while, and then they go looking around somewhere else in the house, and goes into the bathroom, goes into the kitchen as well. And they are surprised because it's a little different from where they're from. So they're a little new with this. They barely know how to read. So when they were trying to read the magazines, it was a little hard for them to do that. But they read it. And then soon after they explore everything, they hear a walking. They hear footsteps. And they are in plain sight, so when this old man, comes in, he sees them immediately and looks at Magma, Magmi, and he blushes a little bit, but he sees that she's a little kid, so he immediately was like, nah, haha, I'm not doing that, I'm not becoming a pedophile. And he doesn't do anything weird, luckily. And he sees that these kids are frightened. And sees that the brother is going in front of Megmi, the little girl. and he introduced himself. My name, he introduced himself. My name is Master Roshi, or short Roshi, or not. Is it Master Roshi? Questionings now. Roshi. Sounds like freaking green dinosaur thing. Roshi. I'm gonna say Master Roshi. And they say that he's speaking the same language, so they know what he's saying. So, yeah. But he looks at the behind the house and sees a giant ship. Or not like a giant ship, but like a pod. A giant pod. And it's like caused a little destruction to his place. But he's a little curious about this instead of angry. He's a little angry, of course, because that legit destroyed most of his house, but, or some of his house. And then they introduced themselves as well. The girl went first and said, I'm Megmi. I'm Megmi. I'm Megmi. And this is my brother, Sasuke. And then, Sasuke isn't still sure if he should trust him or not, like, to be, cool or not, and then the next thing Sasuke says is, why do you have pictures of women without any clothes on? And he gets a little blush on his face when he says that. But then Master Roshi, is like, oh, you see my collection, bud. And Sasuke is confused, but he's also he is going to say, are you gonna do that to my sister? With a serious face, and he had his sweat on. I'm like, no, I'm not a pedophile. Nah, I'm not doing that. And Sasuke was a little relieved at that, but he still doesn't think he's able to trust him yet. And after a while, they've talked to each other, and Sasuke has finally trusted him. And Master Roshi doesn't know what to do, but he sees promise in these kids. He doesn't know why, but he knows these kids are from a whole nother world. Because there's no way that they could get here from just swimming. A very long way from the shores. And he knows that ship, so he's a little confused about that. Then Master Roshi says that you can stay here for a while, and then one random question was asked. And it was Megmi answered asked a weird question. Can you train us to fight? And he did not expect that. But then she started to say again, or started to say more. You have these fighting books, fighting whatever they're called, magazines or something. I barely know how to fight, but I really want to fight. I really want to know how to defend myself. We weren't really able to do that a while ago, so we had to run. And she tilts her head down in sadness, and Sasuke hugs her Because he knows that she had more of a rough time than him, so yeah, he gave her a hug to comfort her. And he decides to say, yeah, he decides to take them in. And he shows them where they can sleep and everything else. And then after that, he after he's been getting them over, he's tried to do the same task with them to get a nice girl, but that didn't work out. And a year goes by, and they've been training. And then a year later, they see Master Roshi coming back with a Goku, or with two random boys, and they didn't know who these two boys were. And they were introduced to. Wait, no, I'm gonna say like how old was he? I'm gonna say 5 years passed. Yeah, I'm gonna say 5 years passed. Okay. No, how old was he? I'm gonna say 8 years passed. 8 years passed. Yeah, 8 years passed. One day Roshi went out, and they didn't know why, but soon after that day, they see Master Roshi coming back with these two random kids. They didn't know who they were. And they see Master Roshi. And when they got back onto the island, Master Roshi introduced Krillin and Goku. And and Megmi actually saw that baby once when she was running away, and she didn't know the name exactly, but she knew there was like a K and a couple other ones in there. But she knew this kid, and she's like, "Are you you are you another Saiyan?" And Goku was a little confused by that. He's like, "A Saiyan? What is that?" And she is a little weird, but then she notices the tail. No, not the tail, because does he have the tail one? I'm gonna say no, he doesn't. So I'm gonna say no. And so she doesn't know if it's true or not. But if it is true, then they're not the only Saiyans left. And they might be able to raise this kid to not be a selfish jerk like the other ones. And so became like sister and brother with Goku. Less with Krillin, but they still became friends. And let's say, I think it was like 2 or 1 years passed. I'm gonna say 2 years passed. And now, um, so they're 5, and then I'm gonna say, or 8. So 8 years, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Sasuke and Magni are like 12 to 13, I think. Yeah, 12 to 13-year-old. And then it goes 2 years now. And that means that Megmi, Megmi, that means that Sasuke and Megumi are around 14. I know, 15 to 16 to 13. I don't know. I'm not trying to do math right now. And Goku is around 10 years old, and so is Krillin. Um, then later they went to they went they did all the training and stuff like they usually do. The rocks, the milk, and other things. The yard and everything. Construction, yeah. Um, After that, all those years, they finally are able to participate into the the tournament, or not the tournament. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I think it's something like a tournament. I don't know. And finally, they're able to go there, and they meet up with Bulma. Uh, Wait, before that, Master Roshi tells them to hold back a little bit. Just to hold back just a little bit. And then he told Magmi and Sasuke to hold back a lot. Because they're pretty powerful. For some reason, they're pretty powerful. And they meet up with Bulma. And as well as, whatever weakling that guy was. And the freaking pig. Uh, Pig, Bulma, what's his name? I don't know. The weakest character, whatever his name was. Yeah. What should say? I can't remember his name. But you know, yeah, the same things happen. Wait, no, I'm saying Megumi a lot, but in those during 8 years, decided to give her a new name because she didn't know what her name was anymore, and Sasuke didn't really like the name of her anyways. Because I'm gonna say it meant trash or something like that. I don't know. And they changed it to Naruto. Now, yeah, and Naruto and Sasuke have been finishing their fights in like one poke each time, as well as Goku and Krillin, whatever. And everything goes the same except for Goku. When Goku goes against all the other people, everything. But when, at some point, the Goku goes into the ring with Sasuke. Now, Sasuke didn't really want to hurt his somewhat of a baby brother. But he wants to finish this. So he went for the quick hit. And he hit him in the back. He went to try to hit him in the back. But Goku actually just dodges it for somehow. And then let's see, yeah, and he got kicked in the chest by Goku, and he went flying for a little bit, but then stood his ground, and he got a little mad at this, and for some reason, his eyes turned a little red, but it was weird, because it looked like a red with a dot in his eye, but nobody knew what that was. So they dismissed it and thought it was just something else. style. It was lighting or something. I don't know. And Sasuke in the end won the battle and everything. And Naruto goes against Krillin. Krillin gets beat pretty fast. And I'm sorry for the Krillin lovers, but yeah, I'm gonna say Krillin got beat pretty fast. And then, let me see, what's his name? I'm gonna say Master Roshi, because I can't remember his fake name. I think he faces against Sasuke first. Now, Sasuke can instantly tell that this is Master Roshi, so he wants to try his best to impress his master. I almost said sensei. Master. And he tries his ultimate best. Like, he knows the Kamehameha, but he doesn't use it much. On the other hand, Naruto does. She uses it a lot. But she combines it with other moves as well. Then I'm gonna make it so he loses. Don't ask me how or anything. I'm just gonna say his skill level wasn't at top where what's his name? Master Roshi was. He wasn't at that level yet. And then the next was Naruto. Now, Naruto is special. For some reason, in the 10 years she has been training with Master Roshi, each time when she gets a little angry, some weird aura goes around her. It's like an orange, bubbly aura. Doesn't know what to call this at all. And she has not been able to control that power at all. Not at all. It sometimes makes her go out of control if she uses it too much. And, well, let's go back to the fight. Their start, and Naruto goes for the first punch, but he decides to dodge it because he knows if he were to get hit by that, it would probably hurt a lot. And he and then he decides to go a little harder because he sees that she's trying really hard. Well, not like max power yet, but she's trying hard. And he's also gonna try hard. And Naruto tries to do a jump kick at Roshi, but misses. And when she's in midair, Roshi tries to do a Kamehameha, but Naruto on time, straight up on time, her chakra, or not chakra, her weird power kicks in, and it makes her dodge in midair. Nobody knows how, but she dodges midair and then makes a Kamehameha and blasts it at what's his name? Blasts it at Roshi. And Roshi in the end got super hurt by that. It had the Kamehameha had like a mixture of orange in it, orange and red. He still doesn't understand his power at all, but he knows if he gets hit by another one of those, he's gonna lose. And he doesn't want to lose, so it can make them think that they still need to be more powerful. But in the end, if he were to lose or win, they would still want to become stronger. Because they know they want to defeat anyone who comes across their path that's bad. And after a while, you can imagine the fight if you want. Some point in the fight, she kicks Roshi into the air, and Roshi is going into a mid-air Kamehameha. But when he was in the air, she decides to do another Kamehameha, but it's not weird power fueled. This time it was just a normal Kamehameha, and she threw it back at him. She threw it at him while he was doing the Kamehameha, and that surprised him, and it hit him straight in the face, and it knocked out Mr. Roshi. And they were like astonished how powerful his students were, or Master Roshi's student was. And Sasuke was a little annoyed, but he was also a little proud for his little sister. And then go after that, Goku decides to go on his own, I think, again. And this is where I'm going to stop this what if. Now, part 2 will be coming out soon. Hope you guys like this video. Well, yeah, that's it. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys subscribe. And that's all. Like, whatever. You can do whatever with this channel. Hope you guys enjoy your day. See you guys next. What if, I guess.